working on building the most efficient and automated cabinet door manufacturing facility in the U.S. Chris, welcome to the show. Tell us, what's the
Hey, Andrew.
biggest and best business deal you're most proud of?
Yeah, so it's what we're doing right now. I think everything that I've done over the course of my life is kind of led me to, this moment now to where this is the kind of the greatest thing that I've done and am doing currently. So
So tell us, obviously being with New Doors is the biggest, best deal you're most proud of. What about it makes you so proud of it so far? Yeah.
yeah, I think it's the amount that I had to learn and actively so fast how quickly we also had to move. So learning fast, you're forced to learn fast. And with that, the company has been excelling and growing, which has been opening up more doors for different, investment strategies and, able to bring in more investment than we would have been able to do not knowing that. So that's really been the big thing is just really, I love the speed and how much that I've been forced to learn to kind of help push us to where we're going now. Raising our first round, I've never had to borrow money or take money from anywhere else. So just that whole learning of that has been quite the ride.
No, I love that. That's awesome. So obviously you've scaled a few companies, you sold a few companies, you've been involved from bagel shops to manufacturing to cabinets to millworking. What causes your mindset to go after these millions of dollars and helping all these people? Like, what causes that mindset to go after that in the first place?
I was the kid that, digging, shoveling snow when it snowed out. And, I had the cutting grass, had my own route with a bicycle. Uh, I just I've always loved business. And it kind of doesn't matter as much what the business is. I just once I become obsessed with something, it's just like, oh, I want to figure this out. And whether it be bagels or, the car wash or, whatever it is, I just want to figure out how to do it and how to scale it. And the more I've learned about systems and, those processes, being able to implement those into newer companies has helped me, succeed more rather than fail, which is what I was doing a lot of the first half of my career at least. So yeah.
No, it makes sense. I feel like you're someone who's a quick learner. You do it until you get it right. Um, has there been any moments where you're like, okay, maybe I don't need to keep failing anymore? Maybe it's okay for me to take a step back and pivot at something. Tell us about any of those moments.
Yeah, listen, the reason that we even got to where we were, where I am now, is due to pivoting, especially with, there's certain things that over the past few years in particular that, labor and whatnot, that, there is no fix to it. So if the business itself can't, grow or scale just because of what it is, uh, sometimes you just got to drop it. And it's just like, that's just what happens. There's always a route in it, but maybe it's not the road that I want to go on. And, that's sometimes either that, again, the company fails because my lack of, at that time, focus and just saying like, oh, there's nothing to do with it. Or I learned how to start selling it at that point. But, to where we are right now was all off of a pivot. It was seeing that doing the way we were doing it was costing us money. It wasn't as scalable as we could. So we, shifted, and now, landed to where we are now.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah. And so, yeah, so let's talk about the bagel shops a little bit. I think at one point you said you owned 20 bagel
Yeah,
shops.
there was 20 locations that we were working, with a group of people on. We had brick and mortar location ourselves that we started from ground up, trying to just get a better model and system to the business, and that was quite a ride. I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
worked in food, but again, I'm also the type of person that I love being involved to see how we can make things better and fix things. So you're there on a Saturday or Sunday, and that damn ticket machine, the POS system is going off, and you're just like, honestly, probably one of the most stressful jobs in that sense that I think I've ever done.
Wow, the most stressful out of all everything is working in a bagel shop.
Yeah, do you know what like that instant stress? Because it's like the interesting thing with that business is it's unlike lunch or dinner. People are in a routine, so they have usually a allotted amount of time. I'm going to leave 5 minutes early so that I could stop and get my coffee or whatever in our bagels. So you're constantly being timed by the customer who's in a rush, and you don't want to break and make them have to get out of their routine because you're running so slow.
Yeah.
So everything is just about speed. And someone doesn't show up in a kitchen, it's like the end of the world.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, it was just like one of those things that and it's supposed to be a fast business. So you're just go, 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 go. And it's, you just woke up, it's first thing in the morning. Everyone, no matter, I don't care who it is, no one likes getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to go start work. So you're already, not off to a good foot, in my opinion. So it was very stressful.
No, it makes a lot of sense because like New Yorkers are already some of the top go 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 hustler people in the world,
Yeah.
and or in New Jersey is similar culture too. I'm
Same
sure.
shit. Yeah.
And so like yeah, what were some of like your craziest stories or experiences in the bagel shop? Like, did someone you hear stories about people bringing their own stuff to put on the sandwich and then say, "Look what you put on my sandwich," or like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get, luckily nothing like crazy that would put us in a bad spot. But yeah, you get people that are just, no one understands you're running a business. They just think that you're there and, you're supposed to just cater to everything that they want. So yeah, you're getting people that are, writing reviews of stuff that is completely, ridiculous. I'm trying to think of like ones in particular, but, you know, someone, oh, you put too much cream cheese on something, says who? You know what I mean? Like that's like one of those things that, or you put,
yeah.
it's not enough of this, it's not enough of that. And people just, will go on about things like that and come in and, tell all their friends and start fights with you while you're there over, a $2 bagel. So,
Wait, when you say start a fight, what does that mean?
it like New York, New Jersey, everyone's hostile. That's like just the mentality of anything. So you can't be wrong, or you can't let them know that they're wrong. Even like I said, when someone says, "Oh, there's too much of
Cream
this
cheese.
on something,"
Yeah.
to whose preference. But now this guy's already mad because, like I said, especially in the morning, people are already grumpy. They're in a
Mhm.
rush, and you're the first thing that's like setting them off likely. They got in their car and now you're issue number one. So you get just people like that, I think, in that business that,
So it's
no,
when you say fights, it's just a shouting match. No
yeah,
fists are thrown
no,
or
no,
anything.
no, 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 nothing
No
physical.
food fights are happening at
No,
all.
no.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I see some of these places that are dealing with stuff like that people are flipping tables over and throwing food and going crazy. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
well, luckily, at least I got out of that before before it would have got to that point. So
No, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing some of the insights on that. And then, yeah, it's a reminder too. Like for the most part, businesses usually want to do their best, but obviously, when you get hungry, tired people all in a closed space and it's hot, things get crazy
exactly,
quickly. That
yep,
makes sense. And so let's transition a little bit. You mentioned working with TikTok, Marriott, and Spotify. I mean,
yeah,
that's amazing. So tell us like how you landed working with them, what it's like working with them. Tell us about that.
yeah. So we started a company about like 7 or 8 years ago. I was living on a couch and got was a I've been painting and whatnot my background since I was 16. So I got a gig essentially that was to go paint an office. While I was in the office, I kept hearing everyone, one of my contacts there saying, "Oh, the cleaning company sucks, this, that." So I'm like, "Yo, can I give you a price to clean it?" And they're like, there's no way, you just have, you don't have a company. I'm like, give me to Monday. And I was able to put a bid together, won the contract, and it was for BuzzFeed. Uh, and it was one of their corporate headquarters. And instantly, like within a week, we started the company that was built around this and scaled that company up. And what wound up happening is while we were in there cleaning, like kind of our business model was we would staff you with cleaners, so nightly, weekly, whatever that your contract was, and our cleaners would be looking for issues within the property. So say that there was a loose tile or something, we would send you an alert. We also had like a handyman company, maintenance, so they would come in and fix whatever that is. That's 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. We would just be able to cater to their facilities. So that. And we focused heavily on the tech market with companies like that. And as we were there doing stuff, they started asking us to build stuff. And as we started building stuff, we started to get a shop, and that started building up. And we somehow got into doing also events because these companies were tied heavily to a lot of event work. And that just started to spread, and we started doing all sorts of wild stuff.
So back up a little bit. You were
it's a mouthful of a story.
You were a painting company. You somehow landed the gig to paint this random office building, and it turned out that random office building was BuzzFeed's headquarters.
Yeah.
And then out of curiosity, what was the cleaning company doing so bad that they literally let someone who didn't even have a cleaning company outbid them to do that?
Yeah, it's what most people don't realize, and I feel like I've noticed over my life is, I heard the quote before, and I say it all the time. It's, everyone's given opportunities every single day. Something comes up. It's knowing what to do with the opportunity, and when it presents itself to you. So, although I didn't have anything going on at this point, cleaning is another one of those businesses that it's something that everyone's done. You've cleaned your house. You might not have been an electrician to do something, but you've cleaned something before. So everyone has an opinion about it. Oh, this is dirty. You did, you missed this spot. So it's one of those businesses that I think people get annoyed at, and then they're just like, I'm going to get rid of this person. And the employees are very hard to find. So the business sometimes is struggling within itself to, be a good company to do it. So that's kind of the position that they were in with the previous company. And I was like, I could do this. I've been doing stuff like this my whole life. And it was just, I think maybe my drive and outlook at it that gave them the, confidence to hire us like that.
And how did you start to hire your own cleaners? Like, you put a Craigslist ad? I mean, how did you?
Just started doing the same way anyone would, just Indeed and doing postings like that, holding interviews, because it started to pick up, really quick. It seems like a lot of newer companies, they want newer companies working within them too. And, the cleaning industry is a lot like the industry that we're in now with manufacturing cabinetry is old. It's been around forever. It's like you just picture that old woman in, a maid's outfit just coming in and, cleaning your facility, and they just want cool stuff, more technology, more ways to help their business. So yeah, it worked out really well.
It makes sense. So yeah, you hired a bunch of people through Indeed and stuff like that, host your own interviews. I mean, when you say you're able to figure something out by Monday, like, you were able to pull this together within a few days, within a week, or how long did it take for you to start from zero to having a proposal ready to go?
3 days, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, we figured it out over the weekend. And then, formed the company, got insurance, did everything we needed to do to it. And I think that company at the time, and I don't remember 100%, but maybe it was like a 2-week grace period that we had from me saying that out loud. So it happened really fast. And don't get me wrong, dude, at first for, you know, months, I was cleaning.
Oh,
Um,
you personally did the cleaning.
oh yeah, 100%. You know, it was like, it was 10
What?
floors. Yeah, every night, man. And they kept giving us more opportunities. It was like, we don't just need someone during the day. I mean, at nighttime, we want someone during the day. So now I'm like, yeah, we'll do it. And even if it means that I have to do it right now to get it up and off the ground, and I did. And then we, hired an employee for that. And as the business kind of kept growing, it was less of me having to go, or, my partners go and do this stuff. It was just more, we were able to hire people to go do it. But yeah,
And
it was quick.
did you like price yourselves the same as the other company, just slightly less, or did you give them the same price and just you guys did a better job essentially?
Yeah, I think we were actually more money.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were a little bit more money, but it's again so much of it, and I see it more now than I realized at the time. Everything is how you present it,
Yeah.
uh, and if you could back it up behind it, people will bite on it. So yeah, even though it was more money, we somehow got the contract, or they were just that pissed off at at
Yeah.
the
Oh,
old company.
that is cool. It's just like, yeah, that the power of negotiation. It's not the time you put in; it's the value you bring. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so okay, so you're cleaning all these companies, and then all of a sudden you hear rumors that their events aren't being well run. Is that is that how this happened?
Yeah, yeah. So like the cleaning led to because we were doing a lot of the handyman stuff too. So repairs within their office, but they started to want like hey, can you make shelves for this? And I was living on the couch inside a wood shop. I literally had nothing. So I started utilizing that wood shop to make the things they were asking for. And then that kind of kept growing. So, multiple companies were asking for things like that, and kept we were in one little shop, then went to a bigger one in the building, bigger and bigger. Uh, and with that, we had more capabilities. So it was another scenario. Yeah, I believe with the event thing that someone was in a jam, and someone that was supposed to do it couldn't do it. And it's like, yo, ask these guys. They seem to know how to do everything. And we wound up landing, one event. I really don't remember what even the first one was, but, and it was a lot of high profile, high budget, things that they set up and then throw in the garbage the next day, but they just spent, $250,000 on it.
Oh my
So
gosh! Dang.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was quite a ride, and a very stressful business. Long stress, not short stress like the bagel store. That was projects that got just crazy. So yeah, that we kind of fell into that and started building that company up. And so now at this point, we had the cleaning company, the handyman company. This was all under one umbrella. uh, and then the event and millwork for these commercial facilities. And COVID happened.
Oh
So
man. Yeah. Yeah.
so you can imagine, it's like every angle that I was kind of into, like, shut.
Yeah.
So I can't clean offices. We can't build anything for the offices, and all events are canceled. So, and yeah, and at that time it was like, what are we going to do? We have this shop. We started in Brooklyn. At this point, now we were in New Jersey because we needed so much space for these events and whatnot. So the shop was in Jersey. We had all employees, and it's like, what are you going to do? And we saw everyone starting with the acrylic shields, to put on whatever it was. So we went after franchises and big locations. I went and spent all the money that we had. I bought all the acrylic that was all over the tri-state area. So we were the only ones with it, and started pushing, hey, we'll make acrylic shields. And that really kind of started the pivot of the company, where it was like, okay, this Sucks that it's, going on right now, obviously, but there's an opportunity here to utilize the machines and equipment that we have. And with that, we saw, dude, manufacturing this way is way better than the way we were doing it before.
Yeah.
Um, and once we saw that, we just have to get rid of everything else. And that week, we sold all of the equipment that was old, standard woodworking machinery, uh, and invested in automation and just kind of started building from there to kind of get to where we're at now.
No, that's awesome. And so I'm trying to think of, for someone who doesn't know much about woodworking and millwork, so break it down again, like how you came up with this. So we're talking about how New Doors got started now, right?
Yeah, new doors got started because we saw that, using, to make acrylic shields, you have to, cutting them on a CNC machine is the most, concise way to do it. So that's an automated machine
So I
cutting it.
don't know what's an acrylic shield, what's a CNC
Sure.
machine. So, sorry for
Okay, no, that's
not knowing
good.
everything. Yeah.
Even better. So, the acrylic shields were those things that you saw at every Home Depot or like, any store that they just put between it. It was clear so that the person, the cashier is on one side, you're on the other.
Oh, for
So that
COVID, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So we hit places like Rita's Italian Ice, all these contacts that we had from all the other places we were already doing, and said, hey, we could make these to help you reopen your company.
Mhm.
Because that was like the law over here. You
Yeah.
needed to have
Mhm.
New York, New Jersey. You had to have these fucking shields. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but so we sold it to them to help them reopen their company, make it more safe. Whatever.
Mhm.
But with that, the best way to cut that plastic, you can cut it on old tools like a table saw, which just like a regular saw. But we had what's called the CNC machine, which is an automated cutting machine. Essentially, you put the sheet on it, and then this robot goes on and cuts out whatever shape it is. So a square, it could be your name, whatever it is.
You can literally just like type it in, like cut me a
Yeah,
triangle, cut me a square, and like you type it in and boom, it's done kind
yeah.
of
You
thing.
put in like a dimension 12 by 13 by 12, and it'll make a square or a triangle, whatever it is that you put into it.
And how high
Uh,
tech is this? Like, could you make like an umbrella or a dinosaur, or is it only basic shapes?
So we have a flat machine, so it cuts flat sheets. But yeah, there are things that there are machines that do cut the stuff. Yeah, all sorts of shapes and sizes and
Interesting. Okay.
dimensions. So we had one of those machines because we needed it when we bought it was for all the events. We made all their signs and like wild stuff that they would send us. So we took that machine and said, let's cut acrylic on it. And with that, you get precision so that you know that every time it's a square because a robot's making it.
Yeah.
And all of the other equipment that we had in the shop when you're making regular woodwork or cabinetry is solid wood. So you have to use all very manual methods to make this stuff. And what was happening is with those manual methods, when during COVID, if someone slipped on a manual saw, and obviously they could hurt themselves, but also the sheet of plywood that was $50 is now 300. And
What
the
do you mean by that? How's it go from 50 to 300?
because during COVID, lumber went through the roof.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It used to cost $50, but so yeah, you're messing up a $300 product rather than a $50 product now. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I can't get it. That's the last sheet of plywood.
Yeah, yeah.
So me and one of my partners were sitting there drinking a beer, and it's like, dude, this is just constantly. There's something you just can't do it. So we're like, we see with the COVID plastic shields, making the stuff on that machine, everything goes smooth.
Mm-hmm.
We always know it's right. We always, you know what I mean? There's far less labor. We have to start thinking of a product that we can do on a machine like that. And through making my own cabinets, the traditional way with all that old machinery, it's also a pain in the ass. It takes forever. They don't come out perfect every time. And I was building my own cabinets. They got messed up. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And that's what started new doors, kind of like
Gotcha. So
in, in,
that,
in
yeah,
that
go ahead.
moment. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. Just like that transition of like, yeah, it's so funny how like plastic has this automated cutting machine, but wood doesn't. And so you took the technology meant for cutting plastic or acrylic into
Yep.
cutting wood, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, same.
Oh,
Yep. So the technology is similar, it's just different bits and different, it goes
mhm.
deeper into it, obviously, the more you go down it, especially from that machine that we had. But, it opened up the door for us to try something different and, develop a product that was able to be, built using it. Um, and yeah, that's why we landed on the doors was my own kitchen getting messed up that made me start to figure out a better way to do it. And after that point, at that discussion of saying that we have to find a better way, we sold all of the traditional woodworking machinery that we had in the shop, and then took that money and bought all material to start making doors. Um, and I'm just always 100% in type of person. Uh,
Yeah.
and said, or the comment earlier is, when to pivot, when to give up. Sometimes it's a mix of the two. So that's kind of where it was at with that. Did we stop doing what we were doing? Yeah. So we kind of quit, but we just pivoted the company internally with what it was doing. So
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's such a inspiring story too. It's like I'm sure it must have had a really good feeling when you're drinking that beer and having that light bulb go off in your guys' head. Like, oh, why don't we just shift gears a
yeah,
little bit? Yeah.
it does. But like anything, man, in that moment, it's like the idea is good to you, or even whoever you're talking about it with, but followed by that is all the people that are like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And that's where I think that now, like, the me doing it so long, my skin is just so thick of that. It's just like, I don't care what anyone says,
Yeah.
and just hammer through it. So
No, I love it. And then what was I going to ask next? Yeah. So during your pitch, so for those listening in, Chris and I met at an event called Startup Grind, and Chris did an awesome pitch at the event, and he started off by saying, "Look at this renovation. Most people are paying $10,000, $20,000 for this. Guess how much we're paying?" And but I'll let you kind of say that first opening of your pitch, Chris, because I think it is fascinating, like how much you guys have innovated.
cool. Yeah. Well, the opening to that pitch was similar. Before we started the call, at Startup Grind, I attended the event prior to that. It was a month before, and I didn't pitch at it, but I was watching everyone else pitch and just kind of picking up the things that seemed like the audience was reacting to, what they weren't. And one of the things I noticed was there was a girl there that asked everyone, "Hey, raise your hand if," I forget what her question was. And I was so like, oh, everyone's now hooked on that. They're engaged, and listening. So that's kind of where, when I added that to the front of the pitch, because it has been working exactly what,
Mhm.
as you said there. And it's just, yeah, how much do you think this kitchen cost to transform this kitchen? I say 5, 10, 15, 20,000. And then we say, no, it costs 2,800 bucks. So at that point, obviously everyone's it seems to be good. They get hooked into it. So
And these are like high quality materials that you're using. Like you're not getting dollar store items to be able to save people money, right?
no, yeah, that's so, from that time that we were sitting there saying, hey, we got to rely on this, more automated way to do it. That's what we went 100% in with. And we're now, due to the automation. So essentially what we've done is that we've linked our e-commerce website, directly to automated machinery. So the minute you pay for it, you click between a catalog, a library that we have, of what style you want. You input whatever custom dimensions they are, and then that program automatically makes the code to send to the machine. So we can make on demand and then, cut completely automatically. So with that, we're able to do a better job for less, and we're using a recycled material. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a benefit on multiple ends. So now people have, again, more of an affordable way that, not only are they able to get our product, but with just the renovation business as a whole, they're not ripping out and throwing out everything and filling garbages full of stuff that's completely fine. So yeah.
And I mean, did you guys have to like get your own facility or your own warehouse, or is this you working out of a wood shop in a garage while you're living on a couch again, or how are you
Yeah,
how
yeah.
are you managing all this?
Yeah, so we were in that other facility. Like I said, that the business was in when it pivoted, and which was fine. It got us to the next point, but at that point we invested heavily. We're in a 16,000 square foot facility now, uh,
Wow.
that is heavily automated. With machinery. So no, I'm not. I still have the couch in the office actually, but I'm not.
Naturally. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've grown a lot, over the past, 2 years, and especially the past year since we really kind of put the pedal down and figured out a lot of the problems we were having. So
No, that makes sense. And then also like your story of how you got your first few hundred customers for New Doors as well. So tell us again, like
yeah,
the breakdown of that for all those for people looking for more innovative ways to grow their business. But yeah, give us the breakdown how you got your first few hundred customers.
yeah. So uh, as a small business owner my whole life, there was nothing more that I loved than having my logo in something. And I think every business owner is the same way. You're just like, oh, anything I can put it on.
Yeah, shirts, hats,
So
pens, everything. Yep.
yeah, so it was like, all right, we developed this door. A good market for it is people that cabinet painters or painting companies that are now painting cabinets. So that is a huge business. And we started targeting those guys and saying, hey, if you upload a logo, we'll send you one of our sample cabinet doors for free, with your logo in it. So few people, did and took onto it. We sent it completely free, no strings attached. And that went on Instagram. And as soon as it went on social media, more they show it. Oh, look at this cool thing. And our logo is engraved right next to theirs. So it just caught like wildfire. And
Do you
instantly,
have an example by any chance?
yeah, yeah. I could grab one to show you.
Yeah, go grab it. Yeah, we'd love to see this. Yeah, feel free to do that. That's it's such a brilliant marketing idea of just like, oh yeah, we'll let you put your own logo, like, and the fact that, like you said, everyone wants to show their logo on something. So yeah, it'd be really cool to get a visual of this. And for those tuning into the podcast, I guess you have to tune into the live stream on Facebook or LinkedIn on YouTube and be able to see this visually. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how they got their start with their marketing endeavors. This sounds awesome. Of having the idea of putting their logo next to another company's logo and having everyone showcase it. I guess it's just kind of like, yeah, the importance of, that's why Costco gives away free samples, because they know once you try it, you're probably more likely to buying something. And of course, everyone's happy because even if they make a few more sales, or a few sales out of the people who sampled the product, they know that everyone's happy. And of course, as a customer, you're happy to sample things too. So, all right, Chris is coming back. All
All right.
right.
So this is what the door looked like unfinished. So then on the back of it, I don't have it on this one, but here's a few samples. So
Oh, okay.
engraved
Nice.
it there. Some other ones.
So if these companies are only painting doors, these are very cool. You don't have any new doors logos engraved in any of them?
Yeah, yep. So we did this New Doors logo right next to theirs on the back of the door. So I think what you were getting, what if they're painting cabinets, what are they doing with this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So they didn't know what to do with it yet either.
Okay. Okay.
But with painters, they they want to show off how good of a painter they are.
Mm,
So what they use is this door to
paint.
show customers, oh, look at my finish. You know what I mean? This is how
Yeah.
good of a painter I am.
Hmm.
And as we started kind of growing with what the correct way to kind of angle it with them was, because essentially what we were trying to tell them is, hey, instead of repainting the cabinet doors, replace them. Just paint the box and put a new set of doors on it. And those painters started getting jobs where they're on that the cabinets are so bad that they're like, I can't paint these doors, but I do have the solution right in my pocket. Uh, and those guys then used all those free samples as marketing tools to reface people's kitchens, which is exactly what we were hoping they were going to do with it. Um, and that's kind of how the momentum started with that. Oh, you're on. Sounds like you're on mute.
Thank you. So the doors you guys make, I thought you guys don't create different colors for the doors you make. It's all a standard color, essentially.
No, yeah. So what we've gotten to the point now, they're all custom colors. So you can upload any color you want from any manufacturer, Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore or Home Depot. You just give us the color code, and then we make the doors to that color. So they get painted in that color, and then we send you a DIY kit that includes the supplies along with the matching paint, so that you can paint the box yourself, or you can have a contractor do it, whatever you prefer to do.
Gotcha. I was gonna say 'cause for a second, it sounded like you're putting all the painters, the cabinet door painters, out of business because you you guys provide that solution. But it sounds like some people still don't want to paint their own cabinets, so they would still hire the painters to still just apply the paint. Is
Yeah,
that
exactly.
sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving the homeowner, or even commercial, whatever it is, that it's they're getting the exact look they want. They get the exact color they want. And someone who's going to hire someone is going to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Someone,
Hmm.
but the DIY market is growing. It grew, 2% over the past 2 years,
Oh
which is
wow.
big in the numbers of it. And now it's at, like, I think 42% of the market DIYs.
Really? Wow.
So yeah, and it's growing. My age, your age, younger. That's what. There's so many videos. Everything's about content and how you could get someone to do what you want them to do, and if you could show them how to do it, they want to do it, and they're proud of it. So yeah.
And what? So I'm not much of a DIYer, but I'm definitely open to learning new skills and being a handyman around the house. It feels like you watch all these memes and videos all the time, like, oh, you have a hole in your wall, just paint over it. Like, oh, you have some rust, just paint over it.
Yep.
So I'm curious for like these cabinet doors that are unpaintable. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, so like what, your existing ones, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. So when a painter gets called to like come paint over cabinet doors to give their kitchen like a remodel finish kind of thing,
Yep.
and they're like, oh, we can't actually paint over these doors. You're gonna have to order new doors. Like, what is that
Why?
case where
Yeah.
like you can't paint over the doors? I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, what the cabinet manufacturing industry is using still those old tools that I told you that we used to have.
Hmm.
And cabinets used to be stained. So you would see the wood grain, you know what I mean? That's like where you see the brown or the wood
Yeah.
color, because they're all made out of wood. But wood expands and contracts. So once you paint it, it still expands and contracts, and then it cracks all over the door. Brand new door or one that you're refinishing. If it's made that way, which that's what everyone does, not us, it'll crack. But so you have that always as a problem. But someone saying that they can't do it, is you have to think also wood absorbs. So as you're cooking in your kitchen and there's oil, or there's been a candle burning, or coffee, brewing, all of that gets into the wood. And when you try to paint it now, even if you clean it, the wood soaked it in, and you'll see a lot of cabinets that are chipping, or there's like stuff bleeding through it, or the wood is just so beat to shit over the past 20 years that there's just nothing you can do about it. So those were like some of the scenarios that people were seeing that was reasons that they couldn't. But now we're seeing more of the market shift, and this is what they want off the bat. They don't even want to repaint the doors.
Interesting.
Because
Gotcha.
as a business, why would you want those variables and those problems of like, someone calling you back 6 months from now and saying, oh, this stuff's chipping, or having to clean old cabinet doors, which is gross. So the business is seeing, okay, there's a higher profit here. It's a quicker turnaround, and it's a customer that's happier for longer. And the homeowner is seeing, I'm getting the exact style that I wanted in the exact color. I just don't have to demo my entire kitchen now.
Yeah.
So it costs a quarter of the price. It's done in like 3 days instead of 5 months. And,
Wow.
Everyone's happier.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then what caused you to go after the DIY homeowner or the standard homeowner versus like B2B office buildings? Well, I guess post COVID, less people are in office buildings. Is that kind of that thought process?
Yeah, it was just, our market up until this point was B2B. Again, with these contractors that are offering the service for the homeowner. But over the past year, we've been trying to strategically align with other vendors that, whether it's the paint or paint rollers or paint brushes, to kind of get them all together into one box, because we know that DIY people still want to DIY. There's that customer, again, that's going to pay to have it done. And then there's a customer that they just want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
So leveraging the fact that it's an e-commerce website, we can kind of hit everybody with, transparent pricing, the, ease of use, and the machine doesn't care who it's for. Once it's sent to it, it's like, okay, it's just another door, whatever it is. So just gives us a way to get 100% of the market.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. And then with your materials that you use for your door, you said it's not completely wood, it's recycled materials.
Yep.
So how many times could you repaint over a new door per se?
Oh yeah, you could keep going over them, as if you wanted to change it in the future. That's so the benefit with our product is that it's one piece. So because it's being made on these machines, that it can never move. So it doesn't expand or contract. It doesn't. It's moisture resistant. It's made out of over 90-something% recycled material. So it's made to last. It's the best quality that you could do for a painted door, and it's made of, like, again, the best stuff that's recycled. So yeah, you could keep using it and using it and using it.
Really? So if I want red doors and we paint red doors, then a year later my wife's like, no, we got to do blue doors. You can paint blue doors, and then the kids come around. We're like, oh, they want green. We can paint green doors. Like, and we don't have to keep replacing it each time.
Yeah, or we're seeing people that to what you're just saying, that it's a way to even upgrade the complete style. That, so say if the trends change, that's just the way it goes. We are a consumer market country, so in 5 years that it's not this style anymore, it's this style. It's a simple, just do what you did before, pop them off and put these new ones on, and you have a completely different looking kitchen.
I thought, you could get new doors each time. I thought you said you could just paint over the doors.
You could do either or. Yeah, you could paint over
gotcha.
them, or you could change up the style again. It's up to you.
Gotcha. But obviously you have to still buy a new set if you want to change out.
Yeah, you would have to buy a new set if you wanted to do it, but still, again, it's instead of renovating it again. But yeah, you could just paint it from white to blue to green, whatever you want with that too. But
is there an unlimited paint layer option? Like, could you do like a new painting day with your kids every day, or there is a limit of like 10 or like?
I don't know if you'd want to do that. But yeah, I don't know. You could paint it probably quite a few times. I would imagine 3, 4, 5 times.
Okay. So there's a limit. Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah, I think after you do it probably, once or twice, you'd be like, this is not the project I want to be taking on with everybody all the time. But yeah, you could keep going over it.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, I'm a guy who likes to test limits sometimes, so it's
Yeah.
always fun to experiment. So it's totally
If
fair.
you do,
Totally
let
fair.
me know.
Okay, we'll do. And then yeah, so this is super awesome and inspiring. And so tell us about your team on New Doors, like who all is part of it, how you put the team together. Tell us about managing the team. Tell us about all that.
Yeah, so by one partner, we've been friends for 25 years, have been working together for 20 years, doing,
Wow,
we started painting houses together when we were 16.
nice.
And he kind of, the past 10 years, I guess, or so, he went off on a different route and was building a lot of pharmaceutical plants, highly automated, state of the art for like Merck and Bristol Myers Squibb. So he has a lot of experience on, the manufacturing side of the facility. So, and also finishing. So it's a really good balance with that. We are in a state of the art facility, so knowing how to deal with that, that's good. And plus, he's been painting, so that's that's my one partner. And we, our team here, we have some wizards on the computer that are just, the tech side that just have loved that aspect of things. So that's been great helping us tie everything together. Um, and then obviously just our regular office staff and manager that's just kind of handling all the back end stuff. But it's funny, one person in particular actually worked for us at one of the bagel stores.
Oh,
Uh,
fun. Okay,
yeah,
very
so that's
cool.
now here. So it's pretty cool to see systems that we put in place at the stores like that to come into our own business, even with doors now. So they're blending. So, but the team's been great, and we're not a big team. We have under, I think, 10 people. Um, and we're trying to remain small like that and just rely heavily on automation.
No, it makes sense. Oh, that's super awesome. And then tell us about your mentors and inspirations like throughout this journey of entrepreneurship and startups and scaling. Like, yeah, who's kind of inspired or helped you along these journeys?
Dude, so many people, it seems, even to today, I've met people that, the small business owner that, helps, multiple of them have helped me, along the way, learn a little bit, learn a little bit, learn a little bit. And I think that's just kind of been progressing, because I'm just the type of person that I learned from that person or those group of people, and now I want to learn more. And to do that, you have to start meeting different groups of people and just kind of constantly evolving so you don't stay stuck around even what might be a good group if there's a better one. To kind of not to leave those people, but just learn and try to keep learning. So there's been tons of mentors. Truthfully, as far as the pitching and whatnot goes, is Steve Jobs. It's the goat. Um,
Oh yeah.
so I really like a lot of just his persona and how he carries himself. I would think that'd be one of the biggest ones, as cliche as it sounds. But
No, I just downloaded the Steve Jobs audiobook biography by Walter Isaacson, and so I'm excited to listen to
cool.
that. 'Cause I listened to the Elon Musk biography, and highly recommend it. By the way, if you haven't got a chance,
No, yeah, I haven't checked that
it,
out.
yeah, it's very, very inspiring to hear from him. Um, and so, speaking of mentors and inspirations, early on, you also mentioned that you learned how to have thick skin whenever people are calling you crazy or saying you can't do something. I know, like, when it comes to mindset stuff, like imposter syndrome seems to hold people back as well. Like, oh, maybe I'm not worthy to scale this company. Maybe I'm not
Yeah,
good enough to be able to sell these products. So, tell us how you combat that imposter syndrome and create that thick skin for yourself.
yeah, dude. To that, I still think that I deal with, even that. You're like, can I do this? Can I, even though it might just be brief, uh, you know, moments that you're thinking that, but I still deal with that even today. Um, but it's just doing it. I really think that, so many people, it's like, oh, how do you do this? Or you just got to do it. And unless if you're the type of person that's going to listen to what someone's going to say, it's just not meant for you, because people are going to keep telling you that's not a good idea. Sometimes the idea is bad, though. You have
Yeah.
to, I would say, as I progressed, and still, I have bad ideas all the time, but you get to be around more people, to what you were saying before with mentors and stuff that have done it, have done what you're looking to do, or know someone that's done that. So you can start evaluating things a little bit better to say, oh, this is worth the risk, or what this person's saying actually does, isn't a good idea. But most of the time, you just got to do it. So I think I've always been that person, like I said, from a kid, that I think of something and it's just do it. Everyone's so obsessed with like, what are they going to say? What's the response going to be? You're never going to know. And when it's not good, you just keep doing it and someone will say yes. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. Yeah, it's got to keep doing it until you get that yes. And also like there's a TED talk on rejection therapy. I don't know if you've heard about that before, but
yeah,
just like sometimes when you ask people for things that benefit you, that you expect them to say no to, just to get used to asking for things, like how good that can be. Like going to Starbucks and be like, hey, can I get 20% off because I'm having a good day today? And like, you never know, they might say, yeah, sure. Here's 20% off your drink. And like this guy who gave the talk, he talked about how he asked a cop if he could drive his cop car around, and the cop said yes. And so he just got to like drive a cop car around the neighborhood just because. And so, yeah, definitely like that. Just like keep going, asking, and you never know. Um, so we have a few questions left here. One of them is, what do you believe are the non-negotiable actions as an entrepreneur to be successful?
to what I just said,
Yeah.
you
Okay. Yeah.
just to keep, and to what you said, just with that talk. I haven't heard that talk, and I definitely I'm going to give it a listen, because I believe so much in that. Everyone, I forget who said, someone said it a while back in some talk I was listening to, but think about a little kid. I don't know if you have kids, but you've been around kids, and they don't care what they say.
Yep. No filter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no filter, and it's like, if they want something, they're going to keep asking until you give them an answer, whether it's yes or no. Um, Maybe doesn't work for them.
Hmm.
It's got to be that hard, yes or no. And we just train them to stop asking questions. And I think as you get older, you just kind of are on the same thing, where it's just like, oh, I don't want to ask because I might just inconvenience or whatever. Like you said, most people will say yes. And the more successful the person is, and you've shown that you're putting your all into something, all they do is want to help you.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think, to what you said with that is probably the number one non-negotiable thing, is you just have to keep doing it. You have to keep asking, and no question is stupid, and nothing's a no until it's no, and it still could be a yes.
Yeah. Usually it's just a no, not right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or it's a no because you haven't offered the right tweak or twist on things yet. Essentially. Yeah. Love
yeah,
that.
dude. It's a different angle. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's you were saying earlier today with the pitch. If I have something for you to look at again, and last week I would have thought like, hey, no, I got this. It's where it's at. And as of today, I'm like, I have to change some things here, because yeah, it needs that tweak to get those people that are not seeing what I'm saying to hit them at a different angle. So I'm in that exact line of thinking today.
Yeah, it reminds me of a great quote by Jim Quick. He's another entrepreneur, thought leader, and he likes to say, we're always this close. Holding his index and thumb close together. We're always this close to getting everything we want. You just gotta keep going. So,
Yeah.
a good inspiration about that. Well, awesome, Chris. The two final questions. One of them is, how can we best contact you? I know you're currently in a round of fundraising, and so if people want to connect with you about investing in your New Doors company, or connect and learn more about you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah. So you could get me on LinkedIn, just Chris Salisbury, look me up, or you can look us up on New Doors on Instagram or any social media, at New Doors. And yeah, that'd be the best way. But anyone personally interested, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I would love to hear if you know somebody or if you yourself are interested. So yeah.
Yeah, and for those listening in, New Doors is spelled
Yes.
Nudoors. And then so newdoors.com. They're also on social media, and they have a great social media presence. So props to you guys for that.
Thanks.
And also put in the show notes too. And then the final question is, what's the one takeaway you want someone to have from this interview today?
Oof. I think it's that you could do anything that you want to do, and also, again, as I repeated that quote before, it's like knowing what to do with the opportunity when it's there in front of you. Because a few years ago, when I said I want to have a manufacturing company, people are like, how?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I
No,
think
I
that would
love
be
that. All right. Well, thank you again, Chris. So make sure to connect with Chris offline, and we'll see y'all next week for the next episode. So thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you.